Hello. Today I'll be explaining why God will bring America to her knees. So, this is because I've been watching videos on a prophet where God is speaking through her to talk about his/her sins or sins of a nation, mainly just the sins of a nation, which is America. And so her prophecies are God speaking through her are coming true. And so I wanted to talk more about that from the prophecies. And so starting off, fear will increase in America. Fear will increase because all these disasters will continue in the United States. And our nation is falling down around us. So let's just look around. Everything is getting worse as time progresses. These disasters will get worse, especially from COVID-19, since the infection rate is increasing. They're more infectious. Even though it's less deadly, they're more infectious. This can be a problem in the future because people who are infected that need to be on ventilators are tied up in the hospital to full capacity or even beyond, and people who need to go to the hospital for emergency like heart problems, heart attacks, physical injuries can't go to the hospital because it's completely filled up. So that's going to be a problem in the future. And also, people who get reinfected with COVID-19 over and over again without sufficient time to recover because of the higher infection rate and because people are not taking this seriously and distancing themselves from other people and wearing masks, that they will get reinfected over and over and over again, and it will damage their lungs over and over and over again. People need to take this seriously, and they need to separate themselves from other people as best as they possibly can, because this will continue to get worse from COVID-19. It will infect the lungs. It will damage the lungs. And there are cases of people who have long-term health problems from damaged lungs. So this will continue. And also, God will bring America to her knees. This will happen. I've been saying this before for the past 3 years, and some people are listening, but this will happen. God will bring America to her knees because God is against sin. This is very easy to prove that God is against sin. I have the proof of God's existence that I talked about before over and over and over again. He's against sin, all the sin, very easy to prove, and we'll look at that in a little bit. You have to compare the prophets of the Bible to the prophets of today. They are not comparable. The prophets of the Bible will talk about his/her sins or the sins of a nation and or the disasters that will come against a nation, against America. So none of these prophets are saying this. They're preaching or giving prophecies of good news, blessings, um, just good news, and that's not true. Everything is getting worse as time progresses. That's not a blessing from God. That is a curse from God. And so obviously they're false. They're not real prophets. Prophets talks about his/her sins, and they're very unpopular because they're pointing out sin. These prophets of today are not pointing out sin. They're giving people what they want to hear, what their itching ears want to hear. And that's not from God. On 8-30, 2019, from the prophet that I am watching, that God is speaking through, God has said, God will send more diseases. This has already happened. The variation from COVID-19 have already mutated. And of course, there's more variation from COVID-19. So I don't know where we're at right now. I think we're after Delta, so it's Omega. I think the next one's Pi in variation. but they're becoming more infectious, and they damage the lungs. And also God will take the children's lives away. So we need to wait on that prophecy to see if that comes true in the United States. Will God take the lives of the children? This is God. This is not the God of Jesus that all the false pastors are preaching about because they want to make more money. God is the one who is against sin. This is very easy to prove. I've been saying this over and over again. And of course, the church is preaching complete and utter nonsense because they want to make more money. That's why they're doing that. They want more power, more glory. They want to make more money. Or it's just a case of the blind leading the blind, unfortunately. So God will bring America to her knees. Everything will continue to get worse. Fear will increase because God is against sin. This is very easy to prove because I've talked about this before. The existence of God right here. Especially the second paragraph. If you sit still and listen for God, He will push your sins in your mind. It's what we describe as guilty conscience. This is uncomfortable, by the way. But it is God pushing the sins in the mind. He will even push the sins that are not based on morality, such as cussing on one's own, getting drunk, or bowing down to other gods. This is God. I talked about this before a lot. And that's how we prove that He's against sin. And this leads up to which religion God's from, which is the God of the Bible, from cover to cover. So that's God. So everything will continue to get worse. And I'll come out with more videos over other topics that will be useful for people to hear, to know about, that will better their lives. So I'll come out with more videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you.